Brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet.
Hi, I'm Mike from 1AAuto. I hope this how-to video helps you out. And next time you need parts for your vehicle, think of 1AAuto.com. Thanks.
And this is part 3 of a 3-part series, removing a gas tank, replacing the sending unit and fuel pump, and then reinstalling. This is the reinstalling part. We're doing this on a 96 Buick Regal, same as any 91 to 96 Regal, Grand Prix, Cutlass Supreme, as well as the Lumina sedan.
Okay, to get the old straps out, I'm going to have to get the bolts that hold them. And if I just kind of move those out of the way, you can see the bolt right there. And what I'm going to do is go up in from behind and spray as much penetrating oil on the back side of that as I can get. Okay, same thing on the opposite side. Okay, I'm going to get these straps off, put a 15mm wrench on here, and I'm going to use an 18mm to give myself some extra leverage.
Okay, so I'm just going to fast forward. On this one I used a wrench and then hooked another wrench to it for some extra leverage. There's no great way with these straps because of where they are. When they installed these tanks originally, they had the rear suspension out. This car, as crusty and rusty as it is, I didn't want to dare let the suspension down to try and get the straps out. So you basically just have to go at it with wrenches, and it takes a little while. You do this side, and I also obviously took apart the other side. An option is you can break the old straps off, and then that makes it sometimes a little easier to get to the bolts.
Okay, what you can do is take these clips out, okay, and then you can bring them down and free them up. With the clip here in the vise, I can just take some penetrating oil, use a real wrench, nice and easy, get them nice and free so that I can put the bolts in most of the way by hand once I'm under the car.
So I reinstalled the straps loosely with the bolts only in 2 or 3 turns.
Okay, so you see I still have my jack underneath. Right up in from the side, just like the old one came out. Okay, and start running this back up.
Okay, just speed it up here as I get the tank going up in place.
Okay, while my tank's still kind of hanging down some, I'm going to reach up in here and I can connect my smaller hose. Okay, make sure it's on there nicely. And then also the larger hose has enough slack that I can push it on.
Okay, fast forward again here as I keep continuing to raise it. Just check around, make sure that the tank's going up, make sure it's going straight up and into place and it's not getting caught on the exhaust pipe or fuel filter or anything like that.
And we're going to reach up here, pull my electrical connection over, reconnect that.
And speed up here again as I just finish up raising the tank into place. Just make sure you jockey it into position correctly. Okay, this next step is probably the most physically demanding. All you're doing is starting the front strap bolt in, but it usually requires quite a bit of force to get the bolt up into the clip. If you're doing this on your driveway, probably lying on your back and kind of bench pressing the wrench up and forcing the bolt in with the wrench is the way to go.
The tank tends to kind of wander forward a little bit, so I'm going to try and push it back. Okay. Bring my bolt up in, push it right in. Okay, start that in.
Okay, now before I go any further, I reconnect my filler neck and as well as that other tube, the vent tube and tighten those clamps up. And now here I'm going to reconnect my fuel filter and put its bracket back up in place, and then reconnect the other two lines to the front. Okay, now I know I only have one strap on there, and that strap's not even tight, but I'm just putting in a few gallons, and then we're going to plug the fuel pump relay back in and just do a test, make sure that the fuel pump's working and all our systems are working okay. Okay, so you heard me turn the key on and the pump came on. Did it again, and now I'll start up the car and let it run. And a running car is a very good sign. Go underneath, check for any leaks, and then we'll finish up. Okay, now here you can see I have my jack kind of supporting the strap in the tank at the same time. I'm using an air ratchet, basically because there's really no room to get in. I want to get an extension past that pipe. So you can see I'm using a crowbar to basically pry the pipe down, get my wrench up in there, and then I actually push up on the pipe, which pushes up on the wrench, which then pushes up on the bolt, which goes into the clip. And at this point, you can tighten up both front straps. Okay, now you'll take your 15mm wrench and go in from the back, and this is probably the most time-consuming and monotonous part of the whole repair. It almost took me as long to tighten these two bolts as it did to pretty much do everything else. Basically, you get the wrench in there and you can turn it about an eighth of a turn at a time. You turn it a little bit, turn the wrench over, reposition it, turn it a little bit, and just keep repeating. It's like I said, this is probably the worst part of the repair. It's probably the part where you just kind of start asking yourself, why in the world am I doing this? But if you just kind of stick with it, you'll get through it. Now back up at the front, once you've gotten the straps all tightened up, just make sure that your lines they've got plenty of room coming through. There's usually a little indent in the body so that they come through. Make sure that you transfer the little rubber pad from the tank that protects the edge of the tank from chafing those lines, and then put the heat shield back in place above the exhaust pipe, and put the 3 bolts in place, the 7mm bolts that hold it. Okay, and then I did remove the little donut hangers that hold the exhaust pipe up so I could pry it down. So I'm just replacing those. We hope this helps you out. Brought to you by www.oneauto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet. Please feel free to call us toll-free 888-844-3393. We're the company that's here for you on the internet and in person.